Shallow depth of field is a cinematic technique that can make your videos more engaging. By using the focus of the lens, filmmakers can direct the viewer's attention and shape their perception. In this video, we'll explore what shallow depth of field entails, why and how it should be applied, and offer valuable tips and tricks to help you steer clear of common pitfalls. This is just one of the videos from our course, Storyteller's Guide to Lenses. But there's so much more to learn. As a Videomaker Plus member, you'll get access to over 45 courses on every aspect of video production, like our course on the basics of visual storytelling. It, like this one, will help you take your videos to the next level. And right now, you can get free unlimited access. Just click on this card and sign up now. Don't miss this chance to improve your videos. So, what is shallow depth of field? Shallow depth of field occurs when a small area in front of and behind the subject is sharply in focus, while the remainder of the image is blurred. This creates a separation between the subject and the background, making the subject stand out. You can achieve a shallower depth of field by shooting at a lower f-stop. This means you need to use a wider aperture to allow more light into your lens. The lower the f-stop number, the shallower the depth of field. Then why shallow depth of field? Shallow depth of field can be used for various purposes. It can direct the viewer's attention to the main subject or focal point of the story by blurring out the distracting, irrelevant details in the background. The technique generates negative space around the subject. This contributes to the image's composition and balance and highlights the subject's significance. Shallow depth of field can also affect a scene's mood. It can create a sense of intimacy, mystery, or tension, using blur to convey different emotions and moods. Additionally, it excels at revealing elements in the background or foreground through a technique known as rack focus. Rack focusing involves changing the lens's focus during a shot, transitioning from one subject to another. This can create a shift in perspective, capture the viewer's attention, and introduce drama or surprise to the scene. Now, let's go over how to use shallow depth of field creatively. Shallow depth of field isn't just a technical tool, it's also an artistic one. It can enhance both the storytelling and aesthetics of your videos. Use it to spotlight important subjects and emotional details in your scenes. For example, focusing on a character's face can reveal their inner emotions more clearly than dialogue. While shallow depth of field is a great visual storytelling tool, it's super versatile and can be used for more than just focusing your viewer's attention. It can also create a powerful emotional link between the viewer and your subject. You can use shallow depth of field to blur out the background and zoom in on a character, making them feel more vulnerable and empathetic to viewers. If you want to create mystery, using a shallow depth of field can do that too. Use the shallow depth of field to softly blur a subject to leave subtle clues in the background of your scenes. Or, if you want to adjust your scene's mood, use different aperture settings to affect the amount of blur and light in your image. A wider aperture, aka a lower f number, can make your scene feel dreamy and otherworldly, while a slightly narrower aperture can create a sense of tension or suspense. Shallow depth of field works for smooth transitions as well. It effectively communicates a shift in viewpoint or the progression of time. In practice, you can use shallow depth of field to adjust the focus from one shot to another, leading the viewer through your narrative and establishing visual consistency. Now that we know how to use shallow depth of field, let's learn how to achieve it. To start, you'll need to shoot at a lower f-stop, which means using a wider aperture to let in more light. For this example, we're using the Tamron 35-150 f2 to 2.8 and shooting at f2. Keep in mind, the lower the f number, the shallower the depth of field will be. However, shooting at a lower f-stop means that more light will enter your camera's sensor, affecting exposure. To compensate for this, adjust your ISO accordingly. ISO measures your camera's sensor's light sensitivity. Higher ISO numbers brighten your image, but can add noise or grain. Getting a shallow depth of field will come with its challenges. Here's how to manage the extra light you'll get with a lower f-stop. First, lower your ISO to reduce image noise and grain. Note that this will also darken your shot. You can also adjust the lighting in your scene by dimming or moving light sources further from your subject. Secondly, consider using an ND or neutral density filter. This reduces incoming light without affecting color or image quality. ND filters vary in strength and are measured in stops, which indicate how much light they block. You can use ND filters to shoot at a lower f-stop without overexposing your image. Lastly, you can use a longer focal length to achieve a shallower perceived depth of field. Longer focal lengths magnify the subject and compress the background. To get this effect, back away from your subject and zoom in with your lens. Here's some tips to avoid common pitfalls and challenges. There is such a thing as too shallow a depth of field. Just because your lens can shoot at f2 doesn't mean you have to. Make sure the amount of depth of field is beneficial to the story you're trying to convey. When shooting shallow depth of field, make sure you keep your subject in sharp focus. There's nothing worse than thinking you got a fantastic shot and the focus isn't sharp. In the scene in The Hunger Games, Katniss volunteers as a tribute in place of her sister. The camera focuses on her face, while the crowd and stage are blurred. This creates a sense of courage and sacrifice. Now, in Dark Knight, Batman interrogates the Joker in the police station. The camera focuses on their faces, while the table and the officers are blurred. This use of depth of field heightens the tension and underscores the intense conflict. In Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, when Joel and Clementine encounter each other on the train for the first time, the lens focuses on her eyes. The blurred backdrop of the window and passengers adds to the magnetic pull between the two, sparking curiosity and attraction. You just watched one of the videos from our course, Storyteller's Guide to Lenses, but there's so much more to learn. As a Videomaker Plus member, you'll get access to over 45 courses on every aspect of video production, like our course on the basics of visual storytelling. It, like this one, will help you take your videos to the next level. And right now, you can get free unlimited access. Just click on this card and sign up now. Don't miss this chance to take your videos to the next level. Thanks for watching.